to the top.
The Arabic Peninsula in Yemen, specifically speaking, really walk us through the evidence that we are seeing at this point, if it can be put at that, but what we're seeing in terms of a Yemen
20 hours behind.
Firstly, the leadership of Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula.
This is live. I don't know if I can, if it's legal to record, but we try.
Let's just bring you a quote.
I think they have a copyright.
Senior cleric of AQAP, Sheikh Harith Al-Nadari, and he issued this recording.
Yes, we have a big storm now, and it was a storm yesterday, and there will be a big storm in Denmark today too.
Read you the whole quote because it's pretty long, but you get the basic idea there. Speaking of clerics, the Charlie Hebdo shooter himself, Sharif Kouachi, gave a brief phone interview with a French TV channel called BFM TV, in which he said that he had actually been mentored in Yemen by Sheikh Anwar al-Awlaki, who was a very senior figure in AQAP.
Sorry.
So very important spiritual
no, it's not
leader in Al-Qaeda
polite to
at a
drink.
global level. Al-Awlaki's statements are still very popular, very much listened to and read in the jihadi sphere around the world. So those are really sort of two pieces of evidence, if you want. Firstly, of course,
It tastes okay, but it's strong. It's 2 hours video, and now it's 2 p.m. soon.
Try to establish, regardless, whatever the links to any group, as they try to establish that or to understand what the connections are. One thing is clear: this is another case of homegrown jihadists in France.
Yeah, that's right. We're really. I want to focus on the main figures in this jihad. That's to say, French citizens who become radicalized and committed acts of violence on French soil or
I'm sorry for camera is shaking a bit.
French jihadists who went to commit terrorism in Syria, for example, like Maxime Auchard. Let's bring you a graphic of the main figures. So Mohamed Merah on our left, the notorious Toulouse shooter. Mehdi Nemouche, a French citizen who carried out the museum, the shooting at the Jewish Museum
I have not
in Brussels,
seen this
in Belgium. Then yesterday, of course,
There's
the two
two
brothers,
faces.
Said and Sharif Kouachi, who carried out the shooting at Charlie Hebdo, and Amedi Koulibaly, an associate of the Kouachi brothers, who shot the policewoman. He basically admitted to that when he spoke to BFM TV, and he did also hold up that kosher supermarket in Paris yesterday, killing several hostages.
The storm is coming now,
before being killed himself.
so I can hear it getting stronger.
I would say 5 of the main figures that we can sort of remind everyone
It's
about.
not a storm, it's a hurricane.
They do have
Strong storm.
These 5 figures, troubled pasts, starting with history of kind of minor brushes with the law, petty crime in their teens, becoming more serious crimes as they
2
progressed
hours.
into their 20s,
This
leading into
video
full-blown terrorist acts.
is 2 hours long.
In the case of Nemouche in Belgium,
my
they also
longest
have something
video
else in common,
ever.
which is short stays in the Middle East. So, for example, Nemouche joining the Islamic State for organization for a while. He traveled to Syria. Kouachi, as I said, very likely trained with AQAP in Yemen, and Mohamed Merah went to Afghanistan for a visit, in inverted commas, as well as other countries. But I think the thing is that despite these training sessions or whatever it was that they did in the Middle East or Afghanistan, they're essentially French jihadists. Most of their lives are spent in France. It's in France that they were initially radicalized.
Strong storm is arriving in Denmark, called Egon. There's the hurricane Egon. So we have low power, so we have to plug power back. But strong wind is blowing. Have to plug the power back. Are we losing the camcorder?
Jonathan Arfi, Vice President of the Jewish Organization's umbrella group, CREEF. Now, thank you very much for speaking with us here. I would like to just firstly ask you about your reaction.
We got power back. Give me the power.
Yes, we are. The whole Jewish community in France is
Power to the camcorders.
Of course, sad today due to the event of yesterday. We are feeling that the Jews were targeted.
It's me, John. I start to be a bit intoxicated, so I need to go to bathroom in a little while. I have plugged my polo t-shirt because I want to look like a nice reporter. I have no ties, so but I start to get a old man. I have to finish this cigarette. Is finished.
We know that this attack
But we have more cigarettes.
As Jews in France, we already suffered from different attacks. I want to remind you, of course, of Toulouse. You spoke about that. The attack of the Jewish school 2.5 years ago. And also the attack of the Nemush in Brussels 6 months ago. So we know that we are very very targeted by terrorists and by jihadists.
But I need to go. I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom.
It's not enough. Tell us, what sort of security measures have we seen being taken around synagogues, Jewish schools and organizations?
Of course, the police has strengthened the level of security with more police in front of synagogues and Jewish schools. But it's not the only answer to this issue. You know, this is a short-term answer. What we know is that the radicalization of people is still going on in France. It's people who were born in France, who have grown in France, and who are radicalized in France. And what we know is that if we want to prevent further attacks in the future, we need to face with this radicalization, homegrown radicalization in France. And this is something for which we do not have, as Jews, any solution, of course. This is it's up to the public authorities to find solutions to this issue.
Well, you mentioned then that the police security and having that increase is a short-term issue, and you're saying that the long-term, of course, is to reduce radicalization of youth. Is it, and you say for the moment that it appears that authorities do not have the answer to this long-term question to how to prevent the radicalization. Well, what in your head is in your mind? Rather, is it a question of
this video is 2 hours,
so approach to things that we're seeing here in France?
You know, we have to show that to young people that this is not the good way.
We have to give this video a title.
One thing about
I have my. This is my.
Young Muslim people.
It's a nebula called 3 Pillars of Creation from the Hubble telescope.
And we need to react to that in order to.
So I have my Mongo TV video.
The problem is that we also have. To make sure that there is a common.
I will have made 200
you know, the French
videos,
society,
but most in Danish.
It really has to
So and this all for fun.
To define a new,
this is
common
video 200.
To feel safe
But
and to feel at ease in the French society, which is not the case right now. So it's a really historical moment in the French.
I don't know what we call. What shall we call this video?
Debate that will certainly
Like
be
a
held
new
in
folder.
days and weeks, if not longer, here in France. Jonathan Arfi, Vice President of the Jewish organization CREEF here in France. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
It will be video 203.
Wassim Nasser, who specializes in jihadist movements, groups, terrorism, anti-terrorism efforts. Now, Wassim, we heard from our international affairs editor Armin Georgian a little while earlier.
We need to give it a title.
Here in France, just some past cases, of course, best well known. Of course, what we're seeing here with the case of the Quachi brothers
I have to put the camera down. I have to type with my hand.
Between the Quachi brothers and Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, specifically in Yemen. Walk us
To
through
make a
evidence
title for
that we
this
know
video,
at this point of
I'll
that.
call it
You should remember that since day one, we at France 24, we were exploring this
Call
path.
it.
We were saying, beware, it might be Al-Qaeda.
Two-
Why? Because of many elements. Because
2
of the target they
days
chose, Charlie Hebdo was designated by Al-Qaeda since years.
of
Sharp himself, who was assassinated, has seen his picture published in Inspire, the magazine, the publication, official publication in English of Al-Qaeda, and there were many indications. Even them, they told one of the eyewitnesses, tell the journalists that we are Al-Qaeda. But we had to confirm all this. And then with time, yesterday we got at France 24, as other press organs like AP, an official claim from Al-Qaeda in Yemen. They are saying, we did it. This is something different than the video of Sheikh Mazari, which is one of the heads of Al-Qaeda, where he was
I
praising
don't
the
know if
operation.
this title,
What you should know
I
is
have
this
called
video
it
should have came
my
out before.
my
But for
2
some reason,
days
it came
of
out too
terror
late. So today, Al-Qaeda in the Arabic Peninsula,
It's too late.
in
What do you
Paris
mean
on
specifically?
Twitter.
Just the release of the video.
the release of the video,
Or
which
we
is
can
praising the
put,
operation, should
this-
have went out maybe before the end of the operation.
Why?
Charlie
Because it had more
Hebdo.
impact, or
I don't know. This is an option.
Okay.
But anyways,
Oh.
because of what was being said,
Numlock.
and because
always hitting
media
the
were
numlock.
concentrating on the Islamic State, they made
See,
an official claim yesterday, and they gave it to a few persons, a few medias. We are one of these medias. So today we are sure that Al-Qaeda organized, financed,
Charlie Hebdo.
and made this attack possible. So now people are asking why Koulibaly, which is the other person, claimed himself as from the Islamic State. It is not that surprising at all, because Koulibaly, as he acted as a lone wolf. He acted, his targets were random. He had hostages with him. While
I have
the
to,
brothers, Washi brothers,
it's
didn't
a
have hostages
numlock.
with them. There was one guy they didn't know he was here, and they let free
other
the
one.
head of the institution where they were hiding.
Yeah.
See, so they
Have to, if I spell this right, Charlie
because he's a friend of Kouachi. He was his cellmate.
Hebdo.
So he acted by friendship between brackets.
Tell us actually a bit more about the relationship that we do know then between those two men.
They know each other. Both of them were part of what was called the cell of the 19th arrondissement in Paris,
North of
which is
Paris.
an old
Okay,
cell
I have
since
the
2004,
title,
it was like a cell which was
that's
occupied
too
for
long,
sending
so
jihadis to Iraq to fight the
to
Americans
show
at the time.
through.
But the cell was dismantled. But these two people were still friends, and then he made some time in prison with one of the Kouachi brothers. So he acted as any other jihadi person would have acted.
But the fact that he felt the need to say Islamic State organization, was that
Because
simply to give more weight?
could
No, not at
be
all.
something
He
like
he
that.
never
2
went to Syria,
days
he never went
of
to Iraq, but he might be really a sympathizer
terror.
of the Islamic State. So his action is a
Paris.
respond also to the calls of the Islamic State to make attacks in Western countries. But it's not the same modus operandi. The Islamic State doesn't organize attacks.
but
Till now.
something like that.
Ask
The
people
video
to make
is
attacks with
very
knives,
long.
as we saw here in France like a few weeks ago, as we saw in Canada, attacks we saw in London, in Australia. So random attacks.
But
attacking
we're not
random
losing
organized
power now.
organized less thought. This attack at Charlie
Yes.
was very well prepared. You know, Charlie
Try a
was
bit of
planned
this.
for 10 years.
Yes.
So these guys were prepared. They knew what to do. They knew who to kill, and they knew how to come out from the scene, and how to hide, and how to continue the fight. So this is very different from an
Try
attack of
this
Lone Wolf,
one.
which lasts usually 2-3 hours, and even more different than Medina Mouche did here a few years ago in France.
I think we light one more cigarette, and then we look at my Twitter.
Medina Mouche did in Brussels. Yes. Medina Mouche, he even got caught.
Oops. Oh, that's a big one.
We shouldn't say
After this one, I will get drunk, I think. It's
mostly impossible today.
Why is it impossible?
it's 30% fish, called fish in Danish.
These two organizations. The Islamic State was never
I have to move the cigarettes so I'm not
Al-Qaeda in Iraq entered the Islamic State with other jihadi groups. So this
they
is
get wet.
things that people
Put it
don't know.
off here.
Yes. fighting for the supremacy, to take the jihad banner, each one from his side. You see, so they are not willing to cooperate. Even in Syria, they are fighting hundreds of dead people between the two groups.
We go back to my Twitter.
Till the coalition started hitting. So they made some kind of truce between each other. And even I got to interview.
We let the sound run. It's live from the French 24.
Also. And we did an interview with him. He responded in video to me.
We back on my viewers to scroll to the top.
Yes, he's
And keep the sound on the live.
For example, he was saying Al Qaeda is
So of
against
course I understand English.
Al-Qaeda
So
is against killing people and filming it. Al-Qaeda is against
here in Danish, I write, I sit and drink
Caliphate,
beers and smoke. I make gin and tonic in a while.
was illegitimate. So we are here between two organizations that cannot cooperate. The cooperation was made on the personal level because they knew each other. And we should be careful
This
with
is
this.
20 hours ago.
Of the Islamic State in France. The Islamic State, till now,
This is
till this time,
storm
they do not have the means
Sweden.
to coordinate and to order operations as such
Yeah,
or
right.
as 9/11 in Western countries.
I will
It might
Rex.
happen. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but
That's
today
not what this case
they
is.
cannot because they have other. They have a war with 60 countries. They have a state to run. Al Qaeda doesn't have a state to run. Al Qaeda has a project, a terror project, to hit the West. So we
it's
are
different
really,
priorities,
exactly.
actually.
We are facing two different organizations. We are
It's a
facing
bigger storm
different
today.
modus operandis that should be
It
taken
was
and
yesterday.
assimilated.
It was
as,
Dagmar
as
and
not the same.
today is Egon.
All right, Wasim Nasser walking us through what we know of these groups, of these elements. Thank you for that. Well, of course, the ongoing events have really gripped people here, of course, in France and around the world, and people have been continuing over the past few days to show their support around the world. We've seen from Morocco to Mexico City, from London to Sydney, people paying tribute to the victims and voicing their support, solidarity for France. We'll leave you with these images from around the world. You're watching France 24.
Let's go back. Cigarette. Cheers. Try to go to the top of my retweets from yesterday. But the media was going crazy. So it was very hard to keep on. So I give up the groups. Yeah, right. I have 20,000 tweets in groups, in 10 web browsers. I give it up and have a nice weekend. So from here I give up the groups because there was so much news. So there was tens of thousands tweets. So the French 20 Live is running. So we have the latest news. Oops. I have a boat like this. It's a Swedish Albin Vega, and it's 10th November today. You can put some music.
The hunt is on for a female suspect wanted in connection with the shootings and hostage-taking here in Paris. Authorities say 26-year-old Hayat Boumediene is on the run and is armed and dangerous. Well, in the wake
She's
of this
not
week's
cold.
attacks, tens of thousands of people are starting to gather here this Saturday in rallies across France, this shaken country, reflecting on the worst terror attacks in recent memory. Thanks for joining us here in the France 24 newsroom. I'm Molly Hall. Now, dual hostage situations ending in death. One female suspect still on the run, and 17 people killed in 3 days of violence. These are the tragic events that have unfolded
it's not
here
over
in
yet.
France. Well, at
There's
this moment,
one
tens of
tourist.
thousands of people
She's
are
on the
gathering in
run.
several French cities. This to reflect, to take comfort, and to pay tribute to those who died and those who were injured. Those you see those images coming out of Nice in the south of France. Well, currently security forces are hunting for the companion of one of yesterday's hostage takers. Authorities, they're searching for 26-year-old Hayat Boumediene, who they say is armed and dangerous. Well, she is the partner of Amedy Coulibaly, who died on Friday when security forces stormed a Jewish supermarket in eastern Paris. 15 hostages were freed in the operation. However, 4 others died. At this point, it's thought they were killed before the police assault. Well, French President Francois Hollande, he addressed the nation shortly after the events that took place. They actually wrapped up roughly between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. French time, and French President Francois Hollande, he took to the airwaves at prime time at roughly 8 p.m. Yesterday evening, and he said that France has faced continued threats and that they were not over, and that Islamist groups, well, they have issued warnings for fresh attacks. Well, he made that address on exactly saying that looking forward, France would face the continuing threat, if you will. France is at its highest level, and the investigation, it continues.
Forensic police took over from SWAT teams as they began their meticulous search of the kosher supermarket